This episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta was funny, y'all. It really was. Um, First of all, thank y'all. I'm feeling a lot better from what I did, from how I was feeling last week. So thank you guys. That was like, hope you feel better and all that stuff. Appreciate that, darlings. Um, okay. So in this week, this whole episode was about the whole Flint, Michigan thing. Um, where Phaedra, she has her foundation and all that, and she is, basically giving back to the kids of the Flint, Michigan water crisis and all that stuff. So she has little Aiden helping out. He's so cute and all that kind of stuff, and he acts just like her. Aiden acts just like Phaedra. It's crazy. And the little one, he acts a lot like Apollo. He's kind of, like the more aggressive type. Um, so anyway, so Cynthia gives Phaedra a call. They're working on T-shirts and doing all that kind of stuff. And Cynthia was just like, so Phaedra, give us some details on the whole Flint, Michigan thing. Like, what should we expect? Okay, but how much is this gonna cost? Okay, but like, what do we need to bring? Do we need to bring some water? Like, what do we need to bring? Like, okay, where's the store? Okay, yeah, the store. You said it was gonna be a store. Okay, do we need our social security card? Do we need our ID? Is what's the thing? And Faith was just like, look, I'm sending all y'all hoes an email, and you will take it up with that, and you will get that. So moving on from Phaedra for a minute, we cut over to Kenya. Kenya's driving up with the dogs, King and Twirl, I think. She gets out the car, and Matt done left another hole in her window. No, it's not funny, y'all. But it's just like a really like why put up with this? Like, my God. But I'm sure Kenya does stuff to manipulate him, and she tells him yes when she really means no when his ass is on the way there. You know what, never mind, don't come. Like the whole thing with Peter. Um when he wanted to basically go, when she said it was okay for Peter to invite him to the opening of Bar One in Charlotta. And then she turned around and was just like, no, I don't want this little crazy ass there. So, I'm sure she like plays with this mind, but he's really like out of control. Like the way that he acts, and he spray painted her cameras and all that kind of stuff. And she was just like, oh, well, he just doesn't, I know he doesn't want to hurt me per se. But he's just trying to scare me. He just wants attention and all that shit. And you continue to give it to him, sis. Like, can you need to know your worth. Like, that's a shame that you don't know your worth. Like, and for a woman who claims that she's this and that and that she's so much, and has accomplished so much in her life, you think that you wouldn't put up with this kind of mess. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a learning experience. So hopefully she truly leaves Matt ass alone. You can find good dick anywhere, Kenya. But we'll never find another Kenya. So you need to stay here and keep twirling on these holes and do your thing. So anyway, Kenya, she decides to call Candy. I'm surprised y'all heard Candy's little voicemail or whatever. Apparently, when somebody called Candy, okay. Apparently, when somebody called Candy, she's like singing before she picks up or some shit. I was just like, what? It said, we'll get back to you, to you, to you. Boom, 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 boom. Don't walk away, boy. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that little voicemail from that song? Leading up to the song of that '90s girl group, '90s R&B girl group. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know the name of that song and the artist, and I will give you a shout out in the next review. Don't walk away, boy. I'll be right there for you. It's a '90s R&B female group, so y'all let me know the name of the group. It's three girls or whatever. Yes, memories. So anyway, Kenya was just like, you know, she talks and she can start sniffling. She's just like, you know what? Matt came over here and knocked out all my windows, busted my windows out my car and all this shit like Jasmine Sullivan. He spray painting my security cameras. He threw black dye all out on the trees and the side outside. He's just doing all kinds of stuff. He wrote twirl on these holes on the windows. It's just a lot. And I don't know what to do. Candy was just like, well, you need to leave his crazy ass. And you know what? If you need to escape a few days, you can come on over to my house. I don't know why the hell she said that, but whatever. Going over to Cynthia. Cynthia, now she got the beach house or whatever in LA, I believe. Um, but when she paid for it the first time, that was the first appraisal. So the second appraisal is way too much coin, so she ain't had that coin, so she has to wait till the third appraisal when they go down on the house. None of this shit really means it. I really understand. It really don't mean shit to me. None of it. Because I don't own my own house, I don't have my own house, I stay in the apartment with my mama. So I'm really trying to understand this whole house talk and the whole appraisal thing. Y'all homeowners out there, y'all let me know in the comments what exactly that does that mean. But apparently she has the house, but they offered it up, so I guess they're looking to bring the offer down. Maybe somebody else trying to get the house. I don't understand. If y'all don't understand what I'm saying, I'll try to explain in the comments. Um, but yeah, y'all explain that whole moment to me. Um, I still have a lot to learn, darlings. I do. I love it though. It's what life is about. So anyway, her and Lil Noel is technically homeless, and so I was just like, and she's reminiscing about the house. She's upset about the house. She wants to know what's the tea with the house, yada yada. Okay, so we scoot on over to Sheree. I believe Sheree's furniture shopping or some shit. But anyway, Marlo Hampton, a legendary Marlo Hampton, come out of Kenya's woods by our house, and she was just like, "Hey, Diva, what's going on?" Y'all know Sheree and Marlo. They had their issues way back when Nene was on the show when they went to Africa or whatever. That whole moment, housewife memories, darling. Um, and that was really funny. But since then they've made up. But apparently Marlo is mad at Kenya because Kenya called Marlo a while back and was just like, "Yo, what should I do for my birthday, Marlo?" And Marlo was just like, "Can you help me plan my birthday or whatever?" And Marlo was just like, "Look, all I need is just some candles and some Key Sweat playing, or some candles and some posters or whatever the hell I need. That's pretty much all I need there." So Kenya apparently never got back with Marlo about her birthday, and they showed a picture of Kenya, and she was in the picture with Cynthia, Sheree, and Nene. So I was just like, that's interesting. So of course Nene and Marlo had been fell out a long time ago. So of course Marlo thinks that the reason why she wasn't invited to Kenya's birthday party, was because Lanithia was there. And then she went on to say she wasn't invited to her housewarming and all that. And of course, that's when Sheree had something to say. She was just like, "I ain't realized she was such a cheap bitch, and there was no plumbing. The plumber was messed up." To my bitch, where you shit and shower? That was for hilarious. I was just like, yeah, come on now. I'm a bathroom person. I love the bathroom. It's where I write lyrics, it's where I listen to music. It's where I find my inner peace. It's where I get away from the world for a minute, my reality at that point, especially if somebody's getting on my nerves. So, if your toilet and shit ain't working, if your bathroom and stuff ain't together, don't invite me over. I ain't coming. For what? If you ain't got no food, and if your bathroom ain't, if you got a nice bathroom but it ain't no tissue, what's the point? Why would you invite people over? But whatever. So, we all know Kenya took one for the team, for the beginning of the episode and everything. But Kenya's house is beautiful now. But the whole thing with Sheree saying that Kenya's house is that she's a cheap bitch and this and that, I don't think Kenya's necessarily cheap. I just think she just didn't have her shit together, obviously, at that moment. But I think she's fine now. Um, I don't understand people who get all white. Like everything is her living room, or at least one part of the house, everything you walk into is white. I'm just like, God, that has to be the room that's off limits. Because if that's the like main room where people sit at and everything is white, the couches and all the furniture, all that, God no. Mm-mm. I know you're trying to be creative and festive and Hollywood and modern and all that stuff, but all white everything? No. All white everything is only cute for occasion, only cute for moments. Mm-mm. I love all white clothing, but I barely wear it because I'm like a clumsy type of person. Especially we go somewhere, say like if we go to an Italian restaurant or a Mexicano restaurant, all them damn sauces and cheeses and shit, and you don't expect for me to waste that on me? Lies, of course I am. Because you get to talking and getting in good conversation with the people you came with, and you just start spilling shit left and right. It's a domino effect. So anyway, Shady Marlo and Shady Sheree, they had that whole little conversation, they was, getting their life, of course. So let's see. So we see Kenya, she comes over to Candy's house. Um and they're talking, playing with the baby. Kenya asks uh Candy, what's up? How you doing? How's everything doing? Candy was just like, girl, what's going on with you? She was just like, I don't know. I ain't filed no restraining order on crazy ass Matt like everybody was saying that I should have. Also before that, I'll get back to that, but Kenya, she had a scene with Phaedra, where Kenya basically just wanted to talk to somebody who's been through the whole violent man thing, like Phaedra has, a little slightly shady, but whatever, we'll let it go. Because she actually did come there for help. And Kenya was just like, yeah, I just, want to know, how did you deal with the whole thing with Apollo? And Phaedra had some very choice words for Kenya. She was just like, you know what? Honestly, like, do you want to file a restraining order? She was like, no. And she was like, a whole lot of shit, happens when you get married. A lot of people truly don't show their true colors until after you get married because, then they got you and then they feel like, oh, well, I can control you somewhat or, now I'm there, I'm not chasing you anything, you're mine. So, you know, and I'm yours and you're gonna do what I say or whatever. But she was just like all the signs of Apollo with him going crazy and stuff before he went to jail. She never saw any of that when she was dating him, which I actually do believe because a lot of people don't show their true colors until the end, until they're backed up against the corner when they're facing something or going through something that's very hard or devastating or whatever, and then that's when another side of them comes out. So she didn't see that psycho killer crazy staple a gun Apollo at the beginning, and actually they had a little prayer session, and it was a beautiful little prayer session. And she actually got emotional. She was just like, pray for Sister Kenya and this and that. And I actually do like Kenya and Phaedra getting along. I thought it was very sweet, and for the most part genuine. Okay, they're obviously not best friends, but it is what it is. For two women to go through so much shit, it's nice to see them get along finally. Okay, so we're going back to Kenya's house, Candy's house. These K's, child. We're going back to Candy's house, and Candy was just like, yeah, so what's tea, yada yada. So as Kenya starts to talk, here comes damn Cynthia, and they're in Kenya's guest house. Um, they're in Candy's guest house. Okay. Kenya and Cynthia is in Candy's guest house. Kenya came first, then Cynthia. Okay. So long behold, Kenya was just like, oh yeah, I invited Cynthia over here. See, I can't stand that kind of shit. Don't invite somebody else to my house when I invite your ass. So Kenya was just like, well, yeah, and another thing, Candy, since you offered for me to stay here, Cynthia, she ain't got no place to stay. She homeless for about a month. So can we both stay in this guest house? I ain't realize how big your house was, child. The show is nice. You got some lemonade? What about some Vienna sausages? I was just like, what the no. What do you mean? Crazy. But low key, I would only do that kind of shit if I'm like super duper close to somebody. Like if it's my best friend or something. Like I would never just come to somebody's house and just be like, child. Well, our other friend need a place to stay. Like lies. And Candy was just like, I really wasn't serious when I invited you over here. And I especially didn't think that you was gonna get somebody else to come over here and do. But we shall see what happens with that if Candy's gonna have two new roommates, Kenya and Cynthia. Ooh, child, I can you just imagine the clothes and the shoes and the makeup and the hair products and just the scarves, darling, and the bonnets and darling foolishness. It would be entertaining though. It would be. Okay. So what else happened? We get to the whole the meetup where all the girls are meeting at the venue at Phaedra's venue for the whole pop up shop thing that she's having. And all the girls show up. Portia, she had on her little short wig, which I like on her actually. And Lena, she actually shows up. RL's wife. I don't even know why Lena's still on the show. They still haven't introduced Lena. Like she's just a supporting housewife. Like I don't know if she's going to be on next season. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Lena, but we don't even know Lena. They just show Lena, she's just a friend of Candy, and that's it. We haven't learned anything about this woman. It's very annoying. Like, we want to know who Lena is. Like, come on, she sounds like she's cool. But anyway, so they all show up, and it's immediate shade session already. Phaedra, she sent out the email. She said that she wanted 50% of the proceeds, to go to the organization, foundation, whatever. And it wasn't clear for a lot of the girls. They didn't know that she said 50. And she was just like, yeah, I just mean 50. And I just want to make sure, yada, yada. Kenya made a joke towards Portia. She was like, she said net pay. So do you understand net versus gross pay? Portia's just like, oh, I understand it. I understand it. So they started to walk around and somebody asked something about where Candy's stand gonna be and how's it gonna look. Portia's just like, child, it's just gonna be a wall of dicks. It's just gonna be dicks over there. Candy was just like, in her confessionals, she was just like, well, my business is the only one that's selling. Because, it's the whole joke of her selling, sex products to the children, which actually wasn't the case. And when they explained everything, once they actually showed the whole pop up shop thing, it was just regular adults, buying stuff, and those proceeds will go to the thing. It wasn't them actually being with the kids. So I was just like, okay, that makes more sense. It would have been awkward as hell. Well, you get this for your auntie, little boy. Like, so anyway, um, they're basically shading each other the whole time. It was really really a funny scene. Everybody's just throwing jabs at each other. It's clear the teams that we have right now, and it's interesting. Phaedra, she's actually going to Flint, Michigan. And she's taking Kenya with her. We saw in the next episode, but she didn't take her good friend Portia. So it's just very interesting how all of a sudden it seems like Phaedra is flipping on Portia for Kenya or something. I don't know. It's just very weird. But Phaedra's always been thirsty for a storyline. Just like all of them are to a certain extent, especially if they genuinely don't have any drama going on. So I'm sure that's all what it is. I do believe that Portia and Phaedra are really good friends. Um, but I do believe that Phaedra has different sides to her personality. She gives me flip flop tease, and she always kind of have. Um, yeah, I feel like she was just very genuine with Candy for the most part. And when her and Candy left off, even though her and Portia are very close, I don't know. Maybe they're not as close as they seem. This is reality TV, child. Who knows? Who knows if these people are really friends like that? So anyway, that seems very, very funny. All of them look great, especially Kenya. Great hair. So we get to the whole pop-up shop thing. Hold on for 1 second. Okay. So we get to the whole pop-up shop thing. Everybody looks great. Candy, Portia, and Phaedra, they all had on hot pink. Snatched to the gods. Kenya came in looking great. She had on all white. And she had this big ass poster of herself with Kenya. She was trying to sell Kenya more hair care products. Which, you know what, I'm actually gonna give her hair products a chance. I think that they're real products. I think now it's not just water in them, but I think I'm gonna try her products. I'm gonna order some of her products offline, and I might actually give y'all a review on it. Y'all let me know. I think I'm gonna do that one day soon. Possibly. I'm a little nervous, child. Will it detangle this hair, Kenya? That's the thing. You're like you get blowouts all the time. So and I don't, beloved. So anyway, um she had this big poster. She was just like, yeah, this is just shady, and look at Kenya Moore, and it always has to be all about her and this and that. And they look over to Sheree's little booth, and Sheree has this little table. And it was just like, where's Sheree? Whose stuff is that? Kenya said to Cynthia, and Cynthia was just like, oh, that's Sheree table. She was just like, oh, look at her little flowers, and I was just done. A mess. Kenya came over to mess with Portia a little bit. Portia pushed her ass away. It was nice to see the girls kind of get along, and there's always going to be a little bit of shade there. But it was nice to, just see them get along for the most part for their purpose, for their causes or whatever. Um, what ended up happening was Portia gave 100% of her money to Phaedra's foundation. Candy gave 50%. They hugged. It was just really nice. To see everybody get along for once. Like I don't know. I just really love seeing that because it'd be so much drama. Sometimes, and sometimes it's like real genuine drama. I feel. Um, and so it's just nice to see them get along in this episode. But of course, the dark cloud came in last minute, which is Marlo Hampton, and she came in, and basically Kenya pulled her to the side, and she was just like, you know what, there's no excuse for it, and I truly am sorry for not, calling you for my birthday party. And Marlo was just like, you're Nene Jr., and there's no apology for it. Kenya genuinely didn't have an explanation for it as to why she didn't invite Marlo. I'm sure she thought that Marlo just wasn't going to come back on the Housewives or come back into the picture at all. So she wouldn't have to face her with the bullshit. Um, in which indeed Kenya probably was wrong for what she did, and it probably was shady. As to why she didn't invite Marlo. I'm sure Nene was just like, oh, I don't want her here, and yada yada. And of course, Nene will always and forever be the Real Housewives of Atlanta, whether she's on the show or not. So you know, we shall see what happens with Kenya and Marlo. I'm sure it's going to get much uglier as the season progresses, and I'm totally here for it. All right, with that said, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki Google Plus. Follow me at ITSKINGWORLD on Instagram and Twitter. Chase King was here on Facebook and at ITSKINGWORLD89 on Snapchat. All my social media moments will be in the bottom bar below, darlings. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.